girls. They were upset until Bill stepped in. They ended up walking in on a conversation between Anita and Vernon, and that's how they heard about the cancer. That's how they heard about the cancer. But yeah, until Bill stepped in, they was all arguing and stuff like that. I said, look at him trying to play daddy and husband. But yeah, Nicole ended up telling Martin and Kat, but Kat doesn't want to get tested. She was like, she don't want to walk around like that. She said basically she want to live her life. She want to live her life without worrying about if she got cancer or anything like that. Nicole ends up asking Ted to talk to her. And the last thing, wait, I said that part already. I about to say the last thing is Anita and Vernon told Chelsea and Naomi, but we already talked about that. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review. This is for Beyond the Gates, January 1st, 2026. So this is the first episode review for Beyond the Gates of this year, y'all. What did y'all think of the episode? Look, they tried to get me. I think what got me this episode, because I did start getting teary-eyed, I think it was when Anita was looking through that photo album and they was playing like their voices and stuff like that. They was telling about Naomi becoming a lawyer. They told about Danny, modeling and stuff like that. It was just like, look, I was getting emotional with that. And then it was when Nicole was breaking down too. I was hoping her and Ted hug. But I look, they ain't do no follow up between Ted and what's her name, Shanice yet, y'all. Well, yeah, I was like, they tried to get me. I said, they almost got me. My eyes started tearing up a little bit. I said, yeah, this is emotional. Then Haley over here eavesdropping and stuff. I said, now, okay, now. We in the new year. It's gonna be what, a year since it first aired. I said it's time to expose Haley. But yeah, it's getting interesting, y'all. It definitely is. But on today's episode, it was basically the aftermath of Danny and Nicole learning that Anita had cancer. They showed Nicole. She ends up calling Ted saying that she wants to run something by him or whatever. So I want to know what she was gonna say before Kat responded. How she responded. I want to know what she was gonna say. Was that what she was gonna say? But yeah, he ends up saying yeah. They agreed to meet at his office, and he was like he gonna be there all day. Later in the episode, she actually showed up, and she ends up telling him about Anita and stuff, and about the kids, and about Kat. And he was like, when Kat make up her mind, nobody can really convince her otherwise. Whatever, I could try to support her and everything. And Nicole was just crying and stuff, and I was like, that was one of the moments that almost got me as well. Her reaction and everything, and then the fact that Ted had hugged her. And even before that, before she showed up at his office, he could tell when she got off the phone that something was wrong. As soon as she walked through the door, he was like, he could tell that something was up or whatever. And that's when she got to talking about Kat. But yeah, Kat and Martin stopped by. That's when, I said Anita. That's when Nicole ends up telling them about Anita having cancer. They was upset and everything. Told them there's more about, if she has it, maybe Anita passed it down to her or Danny, and if they got it, then their kids got it or whatever. So she gonna get tested. She want them to get tested. Kat ends up saying no. Martin said he was gonna get tested. Kat said, I'm hoping that you don't got it. I'm praying and stuff like that, but I'm not living my life like that. Martin was trying to stop her and tell her that she needed to get tested too, but she walked out and she went to Uptown to get a drink, and she was drinking this stuff. I said, oh my goodness. Everybody process things differently. Everybody definitely process things differently. So maybe it's just gonna take some time, or maybe she's gonna stick to it, because there are people who out there who will not get tested, even if they find out that you can inherit it or whatever, that it could be passed down or whatever. Excuse me. Yeah. What else was I about to say about that? Oh, Martin went over to Anita and Vernon, and at first Vernon was saying, she done had enough for the day. And he was telling them that Naomi and Chelsea about that too, that she's had enough for today, because she just had came back from her treatment where they put the little, what they said they put in her chest. They put something in her chest or whatever. They showed Anita and Vernon. He was helping her in. They was talking about that, and they was talking about going through the photo album. At first she didn't want to or whatever, because why was she, she dealing with a lot. Next thing you know, they was talking about cancer, and in the middle of the conversation or whatever, that's when Naomi and Chelsea walked in with their balloons or whatever, and they was like, cancer, what do you mean? So they was asking, like, what's going on or whatever, and they finally got around to telling them. They was like, you haven't heard from Danny? No, they ain't heard from Danny, because Danny too busy in Bill face. And I'm conflicted about that. I'm conflicted. Because, like, she said she basically wanted Bill's support and telling the girls and stuff like that, because he obviously is their father. But at the same time, to me, it's like you just wanted to be in his face. You just wanted to be in his face. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Because, like, I think we all can agree. Well, I ain't going to say that because everybody don't view things the same way. But to me, I speak for myself. I think she still won't be. I think she'll use any and every excuse to stop by and see him. And on the other side of things, because once again, I always try to see both sides of things. That is their kids, even if they ain't kids no more. So of course you're gonna go to their father and stuff. But my thing was, you could have called or anything like that. You just, I don't know. I don't know, y'all, because even they was upset. They was like, you knew and you didn't tell her, and then Bill had to, calm things down or whatever, because they were going back and forth because she didn't tell them as soon as she found out. And Bill was like, hold on or whatever. She doing the best she can with this type of information and stuff. And I said, maybe she did need him there. I said, maybe she did, but either way it go. Either way it go. He just wanted to be in his face. But yeah, we weren't supposed to talk about them yet. We talked about Nicole and Ted. Vernon asked Anita if she's in pain. He was just checking on her. Haley still talking about getting that doggone property and going on vacation and stuff. I said, man, they need to go and expose her. They need to go and expose her. But yeah, she's still talking about getting the property. And I think he said he had to go into the office, or he got some type of notification or something where he had to step away. Next thing you know, she got a notification on that tablet and she ends up opening the door. I said, I know who that is. I said, I know who that is. Daddy done showed up. She wants to talk to Bill. Somebody said, where is he? They said he was here or whatever. Haley telling her she got to go. Bill come out to me. I said, what's going on? Ends up telling her they ain't got nothing to say. She was like, it's about our girls. It's about our girls. She said, it's about our girls. Look the way she curled up a little. No. She like, it's about our girls. So he finally told Haley to go on. I had to sit on the couch. I'm going to sit right here. You don't tell me what to go in mine. But no, he convinces Haley to leave, but she ain't leave. She hid right there behind the doggone wall or whatever, listening stuff. So Danny ends up telling Bill that Anita has cancer or whatever, and there's more that because Anita has this gene or whatever, if it's passed down to her and Nicole, then there's a chance, a 50% chance. Ain't that what they said? No. It's likely that they also have cancer. So Bill was emotional and stuff like that. They was talking about telling the girls or whatever, and he was like, he want to be with her to tell the girls, and she was like, I was hoping you say that. And I was like, I don't know. I guess that's why they say you shouldn't be talking to nobody who got kids, even if they ain't kids no more. Cause I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know how to feel now about that type of situation. Cause it's like, how do you know if they legitimately talking about the kids, or doing this for the kids, or because they want to be in each other's face? And ain't nobody got time to be watching nobody or nothing like that. All this extra stuff people be doing. Well, no. Well, yeah, I was like, I don't know, because I was reading the comments yesterday before they even showed this episode. People was debating about whether or not Danny should have went over there telling Bill anything because the kids are grown. And I was like, I could see both sides, because regardless of them being grown, that is their kids together, and this is a serious situation. They could possibly have cancer. So maybe, maybe she did right. I don't know. We shall see soon enough, because they over here. Now the parts, she over here got her hand on his legs and stuff, and they just be doing too much. For the both of them to be married, they be doing too much. We'll say that part. But yeah, I done skipped over. I said, Kat and Martin want to know what's going on. Danny said she needs to talk about their girls. Naomi and Chelsea walked in, heard Anita mention cancer. Danny tells Bill about Anita. Haley was eavesdropping. Anita tells Chelsea and Naomi about her cancer and everything. But for the most part, they was calm. But everybody just emotional, upset, and everything. Nicole tells Kat and Martin. That she gonna get tested, and if she has it, then they have to get tested as well. That's when Kat was like, she don't want to. I already said Bill wanted to talk to the girls together. What else? Kat said even if Nicole has the gene, she won't be getting tested. Naomi and Chelsea mad because they feel like Danny. They showed up to the house because they both got a text message saying that Danny wanted to see them. So they came over and they walked in upset. Somebody said, why did you wait till just now to text us or tell us and stuff? And they was going out. They was upset, and that's when Bill was like, hold on, she just found out herself. I said, look, handle that. I said, that's right. Go on, play daddy and husband. But no. But yeah, I said, well, on that side of things, for that point, I will say, like, he stepped in or whatever, and then Chelsea went over there hugging him, then Naomi, and then Danny hugged up, and they was just like a big old happy toxic family. Because they seem to forget, they want to talk about memories all the time, marshmallows and stuff, which I said don't bring that into the new year, talk about this doggone marshmallows. One of those sitting toasted, burnt marshmallows and stuff. Then look, my thing be, they'll be like, oh, the reason I sent the marshmallows because we got 2 kids together. What they got to do with anything? Come on now. But yeah, Naomi and Chelsea was mad. Hold on, y'all. Let's see how long it takes to get back up there. It says stuck at 10 minutes and 3 seconds. There you go. It's moving now. But yeah, where do we stop it? I already talked about Nam and them being mad. I said, look at Bill trying to defuse the situation, trying to play dad and husband. Martin stops by to see Anita and them and stuff. She was like, she don't want to talk about cancer. So he was talking about his campaign, but then he rerouted it back over here to cancer or whatever. But she needs to hear it because after he left, Anita started to look through the photo album, whatever, and that's when they started playing like Cat voice and Martin voice and stuff like that. And I said, oh, that got me. Martin ends up telling Vernon to call him if he ever feels like, it's too much. Basically, if he needs him. I think, was the last thing about Anita and them, or was it about Ted? Because I don't see the part where I wrote down that about Nicole and Ted. Let me see. Yes, I did. I see it now. I just can't understand my handwriting. It said Nicole dates Ted, wants him to talk to Kat to get tested. He said he'll do. I'll see what I could do. That's what he said. But yeah, Anita was telling Vernon that, maybe it was a good idea to keep the tradition about looking through these photo albums and stuff like that. But yeah, what did y'all think of the episode? Let me know down below. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, deuces. Have a good rest of the night and be safe.